Let's go on to this Broadway play, because it's had its advertisement banned by TFL after it put up a poster featuring a wedding cake. Now, I'm sure you're as confused as I am about this. Well, Transport for London claims that this poster promotes unhealthy eating habits and breaks its food and drink advertising policy. If you're listening on the wireless, the poster features a couple on the top of a tiered wedding cake, possibly about to get enormously fat. Still confused as to how this promotes unhealthy eating habits? Well, TFL could be the pot calling the kettle black. A few years ago, a controversial advert on the London Underground caused quite a stir. It features a young lady posing in a bikini. Beside her are a myriad of products advertising weight loss milkshakes. The strapline, "Are you beach body ready?" I must confess I have never been beach body ready and never will be. The advert was consequently taken down after the Advertising Standards Agency included in an investigation that the advert promoted unhealthy eating habits. The Broadway comedy, which opens on the 15th of this month, spent £20,000 on its advertising campaign that didn't even get near the walls of London Underground, unlike the Beachbody campaign. TFL has clearly over-egged the pudding so much that it's now a TFL soufflé. But who better to have with me than one of the actors starring in the Broadway show, Ryan Mark Parsons. Thank you so much for coming on. Are you encouraging everybody to get very fat?
No, not at all. And I just think the ruling is so ridiculous. We are a small production, and as you mentioned, £20,000 has already been spent on advertising. A further £5,000 was required to be spent in order to redo the poster to make sure that it's in line with these regulations. And I think it's so contradictory. As you've already mentioned, they've had posters authorise advertising Turkey dentistry, encouraging people to fly out to Turkey to have their teeth done. So if that's allowed, I can't see why a cake is so abhorrent and it can't be seen on the Underground. I think it's crazy.
Well, it's absolutely weird because it's not advertising cake, it's advertising a show. It's got the name of the show. I wouldn't have thought anyone would looking at it would think, I must go out and eat some cake. They would think, I must go and buy a ticket to your show.
That's it. We're not advertising the cake. We're not selling cakes. A cake, of course, as a part of a wedding, is a part of the show. It's a part of the production. But that's merely it. And I'm just confused as to why TFL thought that having a poster with a wedding cake would somehow encourage children to ask their parents to rush to a cake shop or to a bakery and to stuff their face full of cake. I think it's absolutely ridiculous of Sadiq Khan to make this ruling.
It is extraordinary, though I suppose in a way it hasn't in the end done you any harm, because their ban has led to you getting an enormous amount of publicity from people like me who think it's ridiculous, and I hope that that has compensated for the £5,000 you had to spend extra on the new advert.
Absolutely. I think it's been a blessing in disguise, really. Piers Morgan was talking about it yesterday. You're talking about it now. We've had all of the headlines. So I think it's actually a great thing that they banned it initially. We've got a brand new poster that will be displayed all over the London Underground, and I think it will just prove to be great for the show in the long run.
Well, if the whole of London next year has put on an extra stone, I will hold you personally responsible through this very successful advertising campaign in spite of Transport for London. Thank you so much for joining me. And I think, as they say in your trade, break a leg.